If you've ever struggled with your job, what career path you should take, or any questions about work, I'm hoping that this video will be helpful for you. Hey guys, I just wanted to take a few minutes and I've titled this video, why I've changed careers with baby number 4 on the way. And so a lot of you out there know that I've recently, I'm shifting careers from an internet marketing career, and I just got my real estate license, and now I'm a real estate agent with Keller Williams. And I wanted to quickly share that story. Some of you have received an email from you and you kind of know a lot about it, so you can just kind of like skip this video and go on with your day if you want. But if you don't know that story, I wanted to get it out there for a few reasons. One, to share that story with people who it might help. I've been noticing on the Crossroads app actually a lot. They've got this feature where you can pray for other people in the church. And every day when I'm praying for other people, I'm seeing that people are asking about work, they're struggling with work. And I know this has been a giant struggle in my life for years. And so I just wanted to share this story. Hopefully it helps too. I just wanted to kind of document it for myself so I can look back at this time and remember kind of the shift that happened. And 3, I just wanted to get that story out there for people who didn't know why I'm making this shift. So I'll kind of boil it down to 3 things. I'll try to be brief, but some of you who know me know I can talk. 3 things that I had in this story. I had an inaccurate view of work and how it fits in my life. The second thing is I then, on this journey, went on an investigation of my own strengths and who I am and what work I should be doing. And the third thing about this change is that there is an interest in the future and why I've shifted to this new career of real estate, which I'm really, really excited about. So I'll give a quick background story on this because it really dates back. A lot of you could probably relate when you've had that question haunting you, throughout your school years and as you're sitting for your ACT and you're getting ready to go to college, and even in college, which is, what are you going to be when you grow up? And I know for me personally, it was just kind of a haunting question. I never really knew how to answer it. And so I ended up going to college for an accounting and a management degree. And I remember specifically one instance that really shaped my work going forward was there was this job fair. And I was in Nashville, Tennessee, and there were big accounting firms in town. And there was this job fair in our like kind of gym, and this really good-looking, like tall business guy with an awesome suit, everything I kind of always wanted to be, showed up, and he like kind of put his hand on my shoulder and said, "How would you like to make 6 figures and golf 3 times a week?" And my response was, that is exactly what I want to do with my life. Yes, sign me up for that. And that reaction, though, actually, as I left that, it actually really scared me, and it had an opposite effect, because I realized my heart was really desiring just these things, like money and like whatever, leisure and golf and like everything I loved. Not that there's bad with that, but it can be a bit of a trap. And so with my background, that kind of actually had an opposite effect, where I ran the other way towards volunteer youth ministry. So I didn't go on and get my CPA. Instead I volunteered for this Young Life youth ministry for years out of college. And so when I came back home and graduated, I didn't know what to do, but the only thing I knew how to do, and what I really loved, was I loved the Bible, and I knew how to kind of minister to high school students. So I spent the next 5 years after college taking jobs that really just fit around me being able to be really flexible and spend a lot of time with high school students. So in terms of like launching a career, that wasn't the super best track, I guess, for success. And Whitney and I often joke, like I was delivering pizzas for La Rosa's, and I bought her wedding ring by delivering like thousands of pizzas. And I, after graduating summa cum laude from this school. But that was where my passion, and then something shifted where family became this new narrative in our life. And I was like, you know what? It might be better if we want to have kids to not live in an apartment and not be delivering pizzas for the rest of my life. So So I went and got a job, and that drove me down the track of internet marketing, which a lot of people over the years have been like, what do you do again? And because no one really knows. But basically, I've helped people with their businesses on the internet in a variety of ways. And I've done that for about 10 years, and it's been good. But one of the things that happened recently, there was a pattern that was happening, which was I was doing work for people, and I was kind of honing my craft in this internet marketing. But what kind of continually would happen is I had elevated, and some friends helped me identify this, I had elevated this new family narrative and really ministry, which I always kind of loved, really high. These things were always really, really important to me. And work, which I knew was like a good thing and men should do, but it was this kind of secondary thing that only served this purpose. So it was more like a necessary evil, like I've got to make money, but I'll do it just to make money so I can free up my time to go do what I really want to do, which is like be a father and do different kinds of ministry and things like that. And so what happened was when my clients eventually kind of figured this out or saw this pattern, they're like, you don't really care about work all that much. You know, that arrangement, that relationship would end, because they would see like, you know, are you really giving me like everything you could be giving? And some friends helped me identify that. And I was like, no, that's not true. That, you know, I really care about my work. And then I was like, oh, that's exactly true. That's what's happening. There's a pattern in that. And I was viewing work as this necessary evil instead of like really, really doing good work. And so I repented of that, and I was like, and I asked for forgiveness to the Lord, really. And another friend of mine at the time, really good friend who's helped mentor me for years, he was going through a similar wrestle at the time, and he was reading Tim Keller's book, Every Good Endeavor, which I highly, highly recommend. And I went and read that book a couple times, and what that book did for me was it helped elevate work again in my life to its proper place. And it kind of re-taught and reaffirmed and strengthened my belief that work is from God, and God is a worker, and He created us in His image to do good work. And that, you know, we receive blessing from other people when they do work. There's a simple example in the book of like, just think of the chair, like this couch I'm sitting on. Think of all the people. Like, would you be able to fell a tree and take that tree to the lumber yard and like cut it and make and then the cushions and the cotton and like all that? It's like, oh my gosh, no matter what line of work you're in, you are loving God by loving other people, no matter what line of work. You know, if you're in financial planning, or if you're working at a grocery store, if you're delivering pizzas like I was. And that really, that really helped me think I love God really well by loving other people through my work. And so that brought me to this place of, I really want to work, for like the first time, I don't know, maybe ever, of being so excited that this thing came back up. And I was like, I get to do ministry. You know, it might not be like leading a Bible study, but I'm still worshiping and loving my God by loving other people through work. And so that led me to this place where I started to do an investigation of my strengths. So I went from an inaccurate view of work to an investigation of my strengths, and I really started asking the question now, a good question, which was, who did God make me to be, and what work does He want me to do? And that was a question I don't feel like I was asking before, or didn't know how to answer it. And it took about 2 years from when I started asking that question to lead to where I am today. It was a really difficult journey. But in that, I did, you know, all kinds of these personality tests and trying to figure out who is, you know, I had done Myers-Briggs before. Some of you guys have probably done that. But I also did like the Berkman test, or I had done that with Cladwell when I worked there before. I dug those answers up again. I also looked at the Strengths Finder, which was really helpful. And I started reading these things because what happened was, just kind of on the side, I launched this real estate website on the kind of investing side. And I started getting leads from it, and that led me down a path to kind of go get my real estate license, and I still wasn't fully thinking that like this is what I want to do with the rest of my life, or this is the work I really want to do. But as I started getting my licensing, I started matching it up with these personality tests that I'd taken. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is right. God has kind of led me to this path. And so just reading some of these things from these tests, this is from my Berkman test. It says, you enjoy and can be effective at helping other people and making their lives better or more productive. I'm like, great. I like helping people. You like getting things done, including dealing with hands-on problems or situations. That is true. So here's another one. You enjoy being outdoors and doing tasks that are associated with being outdoors or away from the office. Yes. I've been sitting in front of my computer for like 10 years doing this internet marketing thing. I'm like, I don't want to sit in front of my computer all the time. And when I'm out there doing real estate, I'm like, yeah, some in front of the computer, but I can go out there into the world and drive around and listen to podcasts and all that fun stuff. You enjoy working with numbers. Yes. You meet people easily and relate well to others. Yeah, I can do that. You're structured and organized in your thinking and approach, and you bring these tendencies to the work you do. I'm like, well, that would be helpful for trying to sell a house or help people buy a house or sell a house. You're structured, or you tend to be something of a natural authority figure. You're self-confident, and you know how to make that self-confidence inspire those you work with. And you're generally logical and objective, able to get to the heart of the problem faster than people who are more emotional than you are. So I'm more of a thinker than a feeler. So I started matching those things up with being a real estate agent. And before I was like, I don't want to be a real estate agent. I don't want to have my phone ring when I want to be with my family, that kind of thing. But then as I started looking at what the career looks like and how I can still kind of shape that and do a lot of the entrepreneurial things I've done, and work really hard, and there's a performance base to it, which I really like. They just all started matching up, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I want to do. So I started getting really, really excited, and that kind of leads me to this third thing, which is there's an interest in the future for me in real estate. And so I've had this vision for many years now of wanting to work with my kids and building a business where I could at least give them the opportunity to work with me if they want to. So I've got 4 children now, and I've always liked real estate in the sense that it's really broad, and I can have my son can swing a hammer, or he can go get his law degree, or be a salesman, or there's a in the business that I create in real estate, in both being an agent and in the investing side, there's a lot of different places my kids could come into that. That excited me. The idea of building assets. I've been an investor in real estate for several years now, and I want to keep investing here in Cincinnati, and I want to help others invest here in Cincinnati to own more and more of the city, to own more land. That's appealing to me, and being in it full time allows me to have one, come across more deals, but 2, have a better understanding and knowledge of the marketplace. So that excites me. But the third thing is, in the future, I want to have my kids nearby me, and I want to have my grandkids nearby me. That's my vision of the future. And several years ago, I asked my grandpa, who lived in upstate Michigan, I asked him, and he had 3 kids, and they all moved away. And I said, Grandpa, what was that like when your kids moved away from you? How did that make you feel? And he just kind of sighed and said, well, they lived in a small kind of rural farm town, basically. He said, well, there weren't any jobs here. They had to move away. And that he was kind of resolved to that, And I thought, man, I love my grandfather really dearly, both my grandfathers. But that just made me sad, that the love he had for his children. We got to see him, and he still had a tremendous impact on my life and my brother's lives and our entire family. But how much more could it have been if we had been around him regularly? And I thought, I want my dad to be around my kids, because I know he's got so much to give them. Same with my mom and Whitney's parents. And I want to be around my kids and my grandkids. I want to father them when they're going through different stages of, adulthood and parenthood and marriage. And I want to be around my dining room table, and I want my grandkids, I want 30 of them to be running around as we're enjoying a meal. And so, as I kind of put all these pieces together, I thought, this is it. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And it's been so freeing. I'm just getting going in it, but I'm so excited about it. This video is super long. I warned you that I was going to talk too long. But here's Psalm 128. This is the chapter that's on my desktop right now. I read it every single day. Psalm 128 says this: "How happy is everyone who fears Adonai, who lives by his ways. You will eat what your hands have produced." So there's the work. You will be happy and prosperous. Your wife will be like a fruitful vine in the inner parts of your house. Your children around the table will be like shoots from an olive tree. This is the kind of blessing that will fall on him who fears Adonai. That's my vision of a happy and blessed and joyful future. And now I have this thing of work that matches kind of this vision of family and ministry, and I'm pumped. I'm like so excited about this. And so I'm excited I get to work with my friends. I'm excited to serve this city instead of just working with people who are all over the country or even the world online. I get to serve the people in my city, and in so doing, I get to serve my God. And I couldn't be happier about that. So I'm just getting started. I wanted to kind of shoot this video and just share that story. So I'm hoping that maybe, in this longer story, that's helpful to someone, and that if you're struggling with what work should you be doing, and career or finances, or even just the right theology or philosophy on work itself, I'm hoping this video, my story, helps a little bit. And and I hope it helps why I went and actually changed careers when literally I was doing my licensing while Whitney was giving birth in the hospital. I'm like studying for my Ohio exam. So that's it. Thanks for watching this. I really appreciate you sticking in there. I hope it gives you a little better understanding of my story. If you do need help with real estate, whether you're buying or selling or want to invest, I'd love to talk to you. Or if you know someone who's in the market right now, that would greatly help me out as I'm getting up and going and on my feet in this new career. But thanks so much for watching this. I pray the Lord will bless you with your family and where you're at with work as you're going out, and have a great day. Thanks so much.